Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 9 of Aussie Mac Zone, and it's recorded on the 13th of August 2013. It's another Tuesday night at aussietechheads.com.au/live. If you want to watch us live as we record the show, be part of the virtual audience, sit in the lounge and have a beverage or two and a hot pie. Why not? Because this is the Aussie Mac Zone. We're going to talk to you or talk with you or whatever you want us to do. But we'll talk about the latest Apple news in relation to iPhones and iPads, etc., etc. Anything that's coming out of Cupertino over there, we'll talk about it. And also we've got a couple of reviews and some tips and a listener question. All that and more. Tonight's episode, the bandwidth is provided by the Aussie Tech Heads web hosting. If you're looking for a nice little spot to park your website or blog, go and check out some of the plans on Aussie Tech Heads web hosting, and with a new address, a nice easy new address, which is athwebhosting.com.au. And also thanks to ithelpforyou.com.au, who will be supplying a listener, our lucky questionnaire person this week, will be winning a $20 gift voucher for iTunes. So good stuff. Good on you. We'll find out who that is a little bit later on. But let's go around the grounds and see who we've got tonight to join me in talking about Apple. We'll cross first to Garth. He's back. Hello, Garth. How you going?
G'day, Glenn. How's it going, mate?
Not too bad, thanks. You're out last week, but you're back. You'll be all appled up and full of Apple goodness.
Oh, full of the red apple, or hang on, the red grape, one of the two.
Nice. But
I'm fighting fit and ready to go.
All right, and directly to Garth's virtual left is Warlock. Hello, Warlock.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, and not too bad. And you've got a different background there for the video watchers every week, haven't you? That's different again.
Yes.
Not as
Maybe
pink.
I should try a different colour every time just to keep them on their toes. Add a bit of variety, you know.
Yeah, that's right. And to Warlock's virtual left, we have Jason from SA. How you doing, Jace?
Hey guys, good to join you again.
Yeah, it's very welcome, very welcome. Now let's move into what haven't I done so far? Oh, have I mentioned the Facebook page lately? You can find iOS apps, free ones, every day on the AussieTechHeads.com. No, I get that wrong every week, don't I? Every single week I get that wrong. It is Facebook.com/AussieTechHeads. That's right. And I will be putting up an iOS free for that day only app. Most days. Some days I get there and there's nothing. It's all zombie games that are around. And I think, oh God, I'm sick of zombie games. But most of the time I aim for productivity. I'll aim for a few games here and there. But check out the Facebook page and give that a shot. Like us, and we'll love you back. YouTube.com/Aussie Tech Heads. You want to rewatch this show? Can you please subscribe to the YouTube channel? YouTube.com/Aussie Tech Heads, because that is where we are trying to get to the magic number so we can start streaming live via YouTube. So hopefully that won't be too far away, because at the moment we stream live via this week from Justin.tv. We've had a few complaints about the Ustream.tv, is it? I don't know, Ustream.com, wherever they are. Had a few complaints that the servers are a bit far away and people over here just can't handle the slow speed sometimes, and there's ads pop up all the time, thinks the connections are resetting. But anyway, tonight we're through the Justin.tv. But if you want to catch up with the show, just go to the AussieMacZone.com.au and there will be a link to the latest show, straight right bang slap, on the front page. Okay. You got all that? If you've got any questions, you can also send them to feedback@aussiemaczone.com.au or to any one of us. All right. Now, let's move on to some news, eh? Jason, you can start. What have you got to talk about this week?
We may well have a date, Glenn.
Ooh.
So, after not having
I look
news
forward
for
to
a while, or anticipating the news for a while,
yes,
September 10 looks to be the likely date for the iPhone-focused media event. And it's a little bit funny now the way I read it is Bloomberg has corroborated All Things D report, which has maybe corroborated the Wall Street Journal's report. It seems to go around in some big circle. But anyway, it seems as though everyone's generally agreed that September 10 is going to be the date when we are going to be hearing about new iPhones.
Right.
And one would suspect new iPads. And yes, so finally the truth will be revealed as to what's expected. And as usual, the rumour mills are going wild yet again as we get close to the date.
The rumour mill just doesn't stop, does it? Like at September 11, there'll be iPhone 6 rumours. And that, I'm serious, that is how quick these things start. It is just, okay, iPhone 5's out, or 5S is out, bang, what's next? Now, interesting, I'm looking at the story here from the Bloomberg. Now, the thinner iPad 5, Retina iPad mini this year. It's thinner iPad. Can you go any thinner? I guess you can. But I don't know. I think you could get too thin. What do you think? Can you get too thin?
Yourself.
Well,
it slices, it dices,
razor sharp.
Everything.
But wait, there's more.
You see the people who are using MacBook Air to slice a loaf of bread when they first came out.
No, I didn't.
It's
breaks my heart.
Slice your bread.
Oh no, oh Garth, what about will it blend? That'd break your heart further, wouldn't it?
Oh mate, come on.
I'm sure they'll give it a try though.
Yep.
Somebody will, yeah.
You've seen those ones, Garth, haven't you? The make it blend.
Oh yeah. I've heard them anyway, Glenn. Yeah.
Yes. Well,
either way, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, I know.
Anything for a YouTube hit, though, hey?
Well, yes, but yeah, thinner. I don't know. Like I've got the iPad 2, and to me, that's fine. That's nice. I don't know, thinner. I don't know, but
how can you possibly deal with such a large, heavy device?
I don't know. What am I thinking?
Have you played much with the Mini, Glenn?
No, not too
I
much.
loved my Mini. I had a Mini. I loved it. It was fantastic. Great size. And you can take it to work in your bag and just quickly slip it back in there. And the problem that I had with the iPad 2 was I used to read a lot on the trains with it. And after my trips are an hour on the train, so after about half an hour to 3/4, even just holding it in your hands, eventually your hands and arms getting a bit tired and the muscles are aching and stuff like that. But the Mini didn't have any of those problems, and you could see everything you needed to. It was just as good.
Okay.
Yeah, see, that's it. It's not the thinness that I think everyone's going to love with the next gen iPad. It's the lightness. And I think that's what we'll see. You know, with rumors around the change in the display, the digitizer or whatever they call it, that film version. I think the
thing that you look at.
Well, no, the touch.
Oh, the touch as well. Yeah.
Using the.
Also, the other thing is here, Garth, that and whether it's in response to the Nexus 7 or not, that the whole thing around the Retina iPad Mini seems to be around again, and it is really saying that it's pointing towards a Retina display or a sharper display in the iPad Mini.
Sharper display, yeah. I think that would have been coming. That's either coming or it's not, and I think that's probably independent of what's happened with the Nexus 7. I don't think Apple will have changed their plans or, change what was going to happen on, let's say, September 11. September 10. It's so ingrained into the psyche, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, it is.
It's not going to change what's happening on September 10, the fact that the Nexus 7's out there. But, yeah.
So we all pretty much resigned that it will be called, now moving back to the iPhone, that it will be the 5S. There's no real conspiracies
5S
or no
and 5C apparently.
5C, that's right. There was that rumor, wasn't there? Yes.
Well, that's the thing, Glenn. There seems to be, two of them, as the rumors say. So the premium iPhone, the continuation in the models is going to be the 5S. But the other big news is that the 5C really seems to be a likely contender. There's just so much that's come out, and leaked. I mean, we've got in the show notes this week buttons from a 5C, and because they're plastic buttons and they're different colours, that's just something else. Along with, I think it was cases we had a couple of weeks ago. Colours around shells for the back casing. Yeah, there's just, I guess, there's so much around and so much discussion around now that it just seems so likely there's going to be that lower cost iPhone. So look, that will be interesting. So
things are hotting up.
What about the fingerprint reader?
Yes, well, I was just about to get to that, but just before we get to that fingerprint reader, there's the dual flash for the iPhone 5S. Now, what does the dual flash? What's the point in two flashes? Is that just to make it doubly bright, or is that supposed to make it
only reason?
Yeah.
Doubly bright. That's it.
Doubly bright.
No, well,
the main thing that people are comparing phones on these days is which one can take shots when it's absolutely black inside,
right,
or outside in the dark when it's completely blackness. Whose has got the most pixels illuminated, and that's really big thing. Is because, as I was saying last time, there's not that much differentiating in the mature OSs now. A lot of them going to hardware things. So mine can take a photo when it's really dark and we're inside having a nice party with friends, or the kids are having a sleep and the parents just want a little photo of them or something without turning the light on. They like to get this one, takes an extra 20 more pixels than the last one and is 2% brighter in all pitch black conditions.
Well,
I think one of the things they're talking about with the dual LEDs is that they'd have two different colors for the two LEDs. So one with a Kelvin rating or whatever it is, color spectrum a bit yellower for for shots inside, as opposed to the sort of bluer or lighter, brighter one for external shots.
Yes.
I think also a feature of having dual LEDs is that if one LED flashes a fraction of a second before the next one, you can lose a lot of the red eye problems.
Oh, yes, that's right. You can too.
Well, that they can do with just the one flash anyway, can't they?
Yeah, I think it's just a bit easier.
I personally find that the flashes, I like taking the photo, not in pitch black, obviously, but without the flash, because it does give you more of a natural sort of a look. So maybe there's, as Garth was saying, with this yellow tingy to the flash, maybe that could be to
can help with the white balance, especially for the balance in lower light conditions. Yeah,
just as long as the image doesn't have a purple tint, because that's just terrible. We'll never buy one of those phones with a purple tint on it.
Now,
I did a joke of that with some friends of mine just after I got the 5S. I took a photo using Instagram with the purple filter on it. Said, "Look at this beautiful photo I took with my iPhone," and I got a message from back. "You're just trolling people with that, aren't you?" It's like, yes, I know people are complaining all the time about that. I didn't see any problems with that, but I just had to do it.
Now, one thing you were saying a moment ago there with the camera and how a lot of it's going to hardware. I think the other thing that we've got to remember with iOS is the strength that it has with the camera app from the software side. So even though we've got a lot of phones out there that have just as good as sensors and in some cases exactly the same sensors, it's the work that Apple have done on the software side to make those photos come out beautifully that really keeps this 12-month-old camera just about up there with every other brand new phone that's out there.
That's right. It's not the size of the sensor; it's how you use it.
That's exactly right. Now, Warlock,
they've been telling me that forever, but
Now, Warlock, what have you got to say about these fingerprint buttons or whatever you were talking about before? What's going on there?
Well, still may or may not happen. There's always rumours that they're going to have a fingerprint scanner, but it's whether it's going to be as useful to the end user. I mean, as we were saying last time, it may be our idea that if it goes with NFC or some sort of identity, like a Google Wallet type thing, but for your Apple, and it identifies you are definitely you from a fingerprint, then as an extra security measure, fantastic. Other than that, I don't really know how many people are going to be that excited about running their finger over the button to unlock it.
So are there any Android devices or any other phones out there with the fingerprint sensor, or is this like the first?
Just laptops.
Yeah, okay. So, it's strange that...
I don't know anything other than laptops.
Yeah, well, it's probably... Do you think it's strange then that Apple was hesitant to bring out the NFC-enabled phones? They're saying, the technology's not tested yet or blah, 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 we don't want to do it. But then they're happy enough to, possibly bring out this fingerprint sensor phone. Like, you would think that'd be in the same boat. You think that's...
The fingerprint sensor and the NFC are two completely different things from Apple's point of view. With NFC, there's still people who worry that their credit card bank account's going to get completely emptied when somebody who's an elite hacksaw is walking by with their laptop, or if you can program NFCs to send your phone to URL, and some of them were too sensitive. So there was a problem with some that if you got near an NFC, it could launch and send your Android phone to a malware site that would automatically install some stuff on your computer. So I think these are all issues that Apple would be concerned about in their products that they want to keep away from. It's easier to lose a little bit of convenience and maybe have people take a photo of a barcode or a QR code rather than having the possibility that their phone is going to head off in a direction. Because even though iOS is very, very secure, one of the most secure mobile platforms out there, we all know that there's still going to be holes in it somewhere, and somebody's definitely going to find it. That's how they jailbreak it every time. You've got people like I Hate Snow who spend all their days and nights just trying to find any of these flaws in iOS. Then if he found one, said, okay, here's one, and then somebody's like, well, if you can use it to jailbreak, I wonder if I can use it to send their phone to a particular location if their NFC detects the particular kind of URL and sends them off there, and then there's trouble. So Apple's always extremely worried about security more than funky little convenience things.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good, and that's why we love them. That's why we love them, because we are in a nice, safe, little, secure environment. Now, moving on to the iPad 5. What's with that, Jace? Do you know anything about the iPad 5?
Well, I guess where we're looking at the event, I guess that September-October timeframe is back in the day what was the iPod event, now being pushed, the iPhone and iPad pushing that aside. So where we're talking around the iPad mini, the rumours are that there'll be a refresh to the larger iPad as well, potentially called the iPad 5. And the rumours are really around it adopting the design style of the iPad mini, so that, I guess, thinner bezel and that similar styling for the back plate, I guess, and potentially slimming down as well. I guess as battery technology continues to evolve, it will, as the rumours are saying, the iPad 5 will look like a big mini. Just to really adopt that styling. So make it a little bit smaller in size, like from a width perspective as well, with those side bezels getting smaller. And if they make it a little bit thinner and a little bit lighter, that would be quite interesting as well, because as Warlock was saying, that especially if you've got a iPad with 3G or Next G in it, that all adds to the weight around it. So whatever they can do to slim it up would be welcome, I would say.
And also, it's expected and it's been reported that it's going to have this new film-based touch panel, which will be replacing the glass touch panels used in the current full-sized iPads. Now, the switch from glass to film touch layer was one of the ways that Apple was able to reduce the thickness, there's that thickness again, and weight of the iPad mini, and demonstrate its ability to overcome the mini drawback of film-based touch panels. So, Garth, I guess you've got a mini, is this right? Did you have a mini?
Well, yeah, I've got a mini. I love it. And, yeah, like we were saying earlier in the show, it's around the weight, I think. Well, the size, but, the weight is the thing. I guess the size is the thing that looks good in the specs, and the weight is the thing that the users actually appreciate.
Because what I was going to ask you then, Garth, is with this business about they're switching from glass to this film touch layer, did it feel any different? Because I don't have a mini. Does it feel different to the...
Yes.
Better, worse?
The short answer is yes, it does. It's still a glass. As far as I understand, the external, it's still glass there.
Right.
It's still a glass layer, but there's less glass needed because of the film-based touch panel.
Right.
It does feel, less. It feels like if you tap too hard, you might go right through and come out the other side.
Oh, is it like a bit
what I mean?
more spongier? Is that what you mean?
There's no sponginess.
Right.
But it's just so light, and I don't know. It almost does feel a little bit more like those old plastic screens did.
Right.
I won't say that it does feel like that. It still feels fine.
Yep.
And look, to be honest, one of the things that I love about the Mini is the way, the feel of it in your hand, which is a overused phrase maybe, but
Yeah,
but it really is.
By that
It really
when I got
does.
one
Sorry?
as well, when they had Tim Cook up on stage, and he's like, it fits right in your hand, and it's not till you go from the iPad 2 to the Mini that you put it in your hand and you realise it really does feel the right size and the right weight and everything in your hand.
It does. It just feels fantastic. And I've come from an iPad 3, which is the iPad 2 plus an extra few grams, so it's heavier.
Yeah,
so to go to that Mini after that, I think was great, and I think that's I guess one of the only things they can really improve. Within reason.
Look, I wouldn't have
going from the iPad 4 to the 5, isn't it? The weight and the way it feels.
I don't have an iPad Mini, but look, I've played with one over at the Apple Store, and before now I didn't even know it had a different screen on it. So I thought it was just all good anyway. I didn't realise it was a bit of a different mixture.
Yeah, I just think it helps just make it thinner and lighter. So again, that's all good. So that'll be interesting to see what comes out.
Yeah.
So boys, what are your tips for new iPods?
Oh, are they still going?
An update to the iPod Classic, do we think?
Can't they get rid of those? I think
they're no.
I don't know. Who's got an iPod? Only kids.
The sales figures are diminishing, but they still sell in surprising numbers.
The Classics?
I guess the Classics, the Nanos, and the Shuffles. I mean, you can see, like the iPod Touch, you can see why that would sell, because it's effectively, I guess, a good gaming device, a good device for kids, which has really got all the attraction of iOS without the higher cost. And if you don't need the radio in there for cellular, but look, why the iPod numbers are dropping, they're still selling millions and millions of these units. So I mean, I've got an iPod Nano, and I use it when I'm running. It's obviously smaller and lighter than the iPhone.
Yeah, okay.
But it is still surprising the Classics out there, because it's still got a hard drive in it. So that's really kicking it old school these days.
Yeah.
That's really anachronistic now, isn't it? Have a spinning hard drive in a portable device like that. It's crazy.
Now,
I'm just thinking about, what I hadn't really thought about it up until you just asked the question about, what's going to happen with iPods in this next announcement. I'm wondering if the iPod Nano will be deprecated entirely in place of the iWatch.
Well,
so we still have Shuffles, we still have Classics, things like that. We still have the iPod Touch, but the iPad Nano, does it really need to exist if an iWatch comes along?
I would suggest my suggestion, if I was running the show, would be that the watch would replace it. Why not? But then again,
the watch rumors are quieting down a little bit. There doesn't really seem to be much speculation that a watch is going to rock up on the 10th of September. That would be a real surprise.
That might still be a bit down the track, mightn't it? Yeah.
That would really excite people if it's like, and today we have you a TV.
Well, something.
One other thing.
One more thing. Now, something that excited Sonny Dickinson, an Australian writer, who has shared some images of what he claims to be the new volume buttons for the new low-cost plastic shelled iPhone. Now, this is what they call the 5C for Charlie. The buttons are shown in a bright shade of green, yellow, red, and blue, matching previous descriptions of the device. So they're just what do they?
They look cheap and colourful, don't they?
Yes, they just look like remote control buttons, I suppose. If you want to try and get a verbal description of, or like a how would you describe them? Like a keyboard. What do they call that key? They look like a keyboard film.
Membrane type keyboards.
Yeah.
Chiclet.
Yeah. Chiclet? The what? Yes. Anyway, go and Google it if you don't know what we're talking about.
Hang on, I'm mixing it up with my Stephanie Plum. Sorry.
It's getting a bit too complicated for Glenn here. Just settle down, guys.
That's right. It's getting a bit too much. Now,
coloured buttons, really?
Coloured buttons.
I guess everything points somewhere, doesn't it? But coloured buttons.
Well, it's coloured plastic, Garth, but it's more coloured rubber. by the look of it.
So with the way the Moto X has gone in the US with customizable back, customizable front bezel, customizable buttons in whichever colors and combinations you want for like 256 different combinations for your phone, you know, maybe they're coming along with something similar for this and going to colorize up everything.
Build your own, the Apple Store. Go there, pick up your components and build it while you're there, yes.
Now, Warlock, updates on the developer services. She's back.
Yeah, they're telling me that she's all back and going, so I'll have to give that a bit of a test myself to be sure. But I got an email from Apple this week saying, guaranteed, guys, everything's back and up and running. So,
and they're offering you a free month extension, so that's handy.
And your patience was silly.
So, because it's a yearly payment, isn't it? So they just tack in another month on.
Yeah, $99 a year.
Yeah, so apparently it's been out for 3 weeks of downtime. The developer center has been. Apple's informed developers and Warlock even that all of their developer servers are now online. Apple is giving all developers the extension. We are pleased to let you know that all our developer program services are now online. Your patience during this time was sincerely appreciated. Well, I guess you couldn't do nothing about it, could you? So,
and it's actually letting me read the license agreement and agree to it this time that I was talking about last time. So, good.
So looks better than last week.
Yep.
Good stuff. All right, now it's listener question time, and we do have one this week. Now, this is the question of the week. Is brought to you by IT Help for You. IT Help, number 4, letter U.com.au, all the way down there in Penrith, in New South Wales, in Sydney down there somewhere. Now, they're a fully qualified Apple reseller and repairer. So if you've got a problem with your machine, or you want to know how to do something, or you need a peripheral to go with it, maybe some big speakers or an Apple printer or Airport Express or Apple TV, go and see the crew down there at ithelpforyou.com.au in Penrith. Now, something extra special that IT Help for You is doing, if you're down that way, they're looking with the soon-to-be released movie of the Jobs movie. You know, remember that one with the Ashton Kutcher and playing the Steve Jobs? Well, that's going to be released in Australia at the cinemas, I think, or is that a preview? What they're doing? But anyway, it's Wednesday, August 28th. Now, what they're trying to do, the IT Help for You crew, is they're trying to get as many people as possible, if you're down that way, to let them know of your interest. And you can do that by going to their website, ithelpforyou.com.au/AMZ.html. But you can find, there'll be a link. Just go to ithelpforyou.com.au, there's a link, AMZ, click on that, and you'll be able to find where you can register your email address, your preferred drink, your second choice, and number of tickets at $15. So if you're interested, you want to hook up with some other Apple fans and have a great night out down there with the IT Help for You crew, just go and register your interest. And hopefully, if they can get enough people, then yippee-yahoo, off to the movies we go. All right, so don't be scared. Go and jump on their website and do that. All right, so getting back to the listener question. Now, this week, it is from Lisa. Now, what I think we've decided to do, Jason, is to also give Lisa this week the $20 gift voucher. So congratulations, Lisa. You're in with a $20 gift voucher because they were pretty light on reviews in the iTunes store this week, so we thought, why not? We'll give it to the question asker. So, Lisa, can you send me your details, please, at glenn@aussiemaczone.com.au. Now, her question. I have a question for you guys. We are now new to Apple computers. Well, congratulations. Is it true we don't need a PC virus protection, and how safe it is? I've watched a few of your podcasts on your YouTube channel. Looking forward to your live night on Tuesday. Well, hello.
At least we'll be watching.
Yes. Okay. So now, obviously, she's bought a Mac and she wants to know about virus protection software. What does she need? What is your opinion on that, Jason?
Well, I would say it'd be a lower risk than Windows machine, but certainly not no risk. And I guess it probably stems from, because there are a lot more Windows machines, and Windows is still by far the predominant operating system out there.
Yep.
It's just more attractive for criminals. It's bang for your buck if they're going to develop some exploit or do something nasty. There's a higher percentage of Windows machines out there, so they're going to land their bad malware on those machines. Probably combined with the fact that Windows is a little easier to hack. I guess OS 10, Apple operating system, being based off Unix, is a more mature operating system, but still not infallible. And a lot of it comes down to sensible behaviour as well. So certainly you should be running your patching. So when there's an update that comes through for the operating system and for your apps, make sure that you're doing that. But again, look, Macs can be hacked, but maybe they're a little bit more difficult to exploit than a Windows machine. Something new that's also soon been put into the latest version of OS 10 Mountain Lion is around a function called Gatekeeper. So what that does is look at the application that's being installed, and if it's not from the App Store or it's not from a developer who has registered with Apple, it will prevent you from installing that software without jumping through a few hoops, which is what you want. You're then sure that you want to install that software. And the other thing that you may have noticed is when you've gone to maybe install some software or make some changes to the system, it'll also ask you for your password. So again, another safeguard there so that software can't just install. The other thing to be careful of course, is if that prompt comes up asking you for your password and you haven't intended to install something or to make a change, don't put your password in. There may be something amiss there.
Now,
so what I'd say is if you're doing sensible things, don't go to bad or dodgy websites. Look at where you're getting your software from. Get it from reputable sites. Run your updates. What I would recommend doing these days, as there's a broader Mac base out there, and again, bad guys, there's probably more reason to write software for Macs now because there's more Mac users out there, is a product called Clam XAV, which you can get from the Mac App Store. It is free. Whilst I wouldn't run it all the time, I don't think there's any need for that. Maybe scan your machine every week or so just to make sure that it's all looking good.
Now, so you've had. Sorry, Glenn. I was just going to say. Now you've been a Mac boy for quite some time. Do you actually have any antivirus software on your machine?
I do on one of my machines, and that was probably more because I was just trying out Clam XAV to see what it was was like.
Yeah.
But yeah, look again. If you're sensible, if you do your patching, and really, I think they're the key things. But I'd probably say you're getting to the stage these days where, hey, look, Clam XAV's free. Having it on there, running it every so often just to make sure everything's in order, now, isn't a bad thing.
Now, with the Mac, do they have a different type of user accounts? Do they have like administrator type accounts and then reduced privilege user type accounts, or with the accounts are they just all? They
do. So you can have your administrator account, and you can set up another account to use day to day with a lower level of access. So again, if you went down that path, that's even better again. Lots of people don't go through the hassle of doing that. I'm one of those. I do run as administrator access all the time. But yeah, look, that's something else you could do if you really wanted to have an additional layer of protection there.
Look, I'm a believer in that. Look, it only takes 2 seconds to create another account, so why wouldn't you? Why not? And then sometimes your profile might get corrupted or something, so you just blow that one away and grab another one. But look, I'd create an administrator for when you want to install stuff and do all the nitty gritty, and just a user account. And as Jace said, Clam XAV, which is free. And Warlock, you had a couple of tips there as well, just in passing.
Yeah, don't click any links that get emailed to you, even if it's from your best friend and you trust them 100%. Always type things in manually into your browser, and don't enter in URLs, no matter what computer you've got, from people, especially if they ring you up and say, "Hi, we're from the Windows company, and we detected your computer's running a bit dodgy.
But I've got a
Please
Mac.
go to this website and we'll fix it for you."
Yeah, they go. You go.
You don't tell them you've got a Mac straight away. You play along for a while, then you tell them you've got a Mac.
Yeah, and then they go.
I had one of them ring me last year, and they rang up and said, "Oh, is you got a bit of a problem with your computer?" "Oh, yeah. Oh, it's probably got a virus on it or something." So I said, "Oh my God, thank you for telling me. That's so awesome. I'm going to pack it up right now and take it back to the manufacturer. Bye." They probably went, "What?
What's going
How
on?
are you supposed to react?"
That's not the script.
No, that's
not the script
right.
we're following here.
Yeah.
I'll unplug it and burn it immediately.
Now, Garth, you're an Apple user from way back. What's your take? Do you run any virus software?
To be honest, no, I don't run any antivirus, and I also don't use Java on here at all. I don't use any Adobe products on here at all. Flash. And I feel pretty safe. I think one good thing that we've seen with Mountain Lion, aside from Gatekeeper, is that it will auto-disable Java if it's not being used.
Right.
So if you don't have any reason for it, it'll get disabled.
Right.
And I think that has been one of the areas where, it's some of the other stuff that's introduced to the Mac OS that has opened up holes.
Yeah.
And to have
thing to go
something
along
like Java
with
disabled has gone a long way.
what Glenn was saying about having a standard account and using that instead of the admin one, 99% of the time you won't even need the admin account. It's just there for a backup. But all of your standard accounts will have the ability to escalate privileges temporarily to install software or something like that, and then just go back to being a normal standard account, which is the way you want it done.
That's right. Yeah.
That's right. That's the way
sorry, the other thing I was just going to say quickly is where we're talking about Java and Flash. If you're using Chrome, you won't need to install that on your machine. So again, you can steer clear of the Adobe products there.
Well, if it's anything,
Safari for most things, and if I need Flash, then just pull out Google Chrome for that instance. Yeah.
Oh, you guys serious? I can't. My Google Chrome crashes every time it wants to have a look at Flash. So I've moved
that's on Windows, though, Glenn. I think that's the operating system problem.
I've moved back to Firefox.
User error, PEBCAC.
Yeah. I'm not sure what that stands for, but I'll find out later because it could have a few rude words in it. Now, I think that's given you quite a comprehensive idea of what we get up to anyway. I've got a Mac Mini. I don't have any antivirus software on mine, and I've never had any problems at all either. Like, I don't go around any dodgy dark corners of the internet, and I think if you pretty much stay away from all that, I think your machine will be pretty good. But if you're super scared, try that free antivirus that Jace mentioned. I'm sure there's others out there too, if so you desire to look for them. All right, so good on you, Lise. You get the $20. Good stuff. Now, woohoo! Now, did you know about AussieTechRadio.com? 24/7 shoutcast live streaming of Aussie tech shows, and a couple from New Zealand. And it is just all about shoutcast. If you don't know what that is, go to AussieTechRadio.com and have a look. You can set it up, listen to it over the web just by, I think it starts straight away as soon as you get there. You can download apps for your iPhone, Shoutcast app, search for Aussie Tech Heads, and bang, there you go. Listen to there's heaps of shows, heaps of them. There's Aussie Tech Heads, there's Aussie Mac Zone, this one, she's in there. There's Garth's plethora of other podcasts that Garth's involved in. Cool Blind Tech, iBlind Tech, whatever else he's got, you're going in there. There's two boys talking tech or something, Your Tech Life, it's all there. Go and have a look at it. It's great. Now, cool picks of the week. What do we got here? Who put this in here? The dialogue. Who put that in? Whose is that?
I put that one in there. I haven't actually used it yet. I've seen it. It
reads good.
Promoted on. I think I saw it on The Verge, and I've been meaning to download it. It's an application that pairs your Mac with your iPhone to let you answer and record calls. And I saw a little YouTube video that was demoing it, and it looked really cool. So essentially, the app called Dialogue is downloadable from the Mac App Store. You pair it with your iPhone over Bluetooth or another smartphone if you had one, It just anything that will pair over Bluetooth. And when someone calls you, you can choose to answer the call on your Mac rather than the phone. And through the app, you can record, you can search for contacts, and effectively control and access your smartphone or iPhone through the Mac.
All right. So, is there? Sorry, I just got a message that you guys might be getting some echo, but we're nearly finished. So, if you can put up with it, we can move quickly on. But I was just going to say, I was going to ask you guys and maybe point this towards Garth, as I just have a feeling he might. On the spot, put him on the spot. He might know more about it. Yeah. But is there an app that would record a telephone call straight from the device rather than going through the Mac? Do you know of any apps that would do that?
Officially, no, but there is.
The NSA have got one.
Yeah, no.
It records lots of phone calls.
Recorder Pro, I believe. There's an app that's just a mainstream recorder app.
Yeah.
You do not need to be jailbroken. What's his name on that?
That's all right.
TiOS. Yeah, there's like a Recorder Pro, I think it's called.
Right. Okay.
And if it starts up, but officially, no, you're not supposed to be able to do this on iOS.
Right.
But apparently that app has been working to do it for quite a long time, and Apple have never pulled it. So,
yeah. Okay.
I think it's called Recorder Pro, but I might be. Yeah, don't quote me on that one.
All right. Well, I might go and have a bit of a plug around.
But it seems like this dialogue, and just as an aside to dialogue, it is for any other voiceover users out there, it is apparently completely accessible, so it's all good.
All right. So that sounds like, and that's not free. I think it was about $6.99.
$6.99. That could be US, so you might need to add the Aussie tax to that.
Yes, and look, I'll tell you just as a side whinge. Before we go, is I bought something from overseas, and normally you buy something, and it might be a couple of bucks or $40 or something from eBay, and with your credit card, and you get the little, I don't know if you guys get it, but the little international transaction fee on your statement.
Yeah, all the banks seem to be doing that now. Yeah, just a little margin on the foreign exchange.
Yeah, do you know that that's 2.5%? And because I bought something that was $480, exchanged it out to 480 US, came out to 520 Australian, and then I copped a $13.50 international transaction fee.
Yeah, you have to be careful around that, and that's sometimes, obviously look at your bank's terms and conditions around are they charging for it, because it is optional. But that being said, most of the banks seem to. Right, and also what the rate is. But yeah, that's the advantage. If you're using something like PayPal, you can escape that, where they'll take it and do an Aussie transaction, I guess, and they'll do the foreign exchange at their back end.
Well, I found a credit card not long ago that you get in Australia that has absolutely no foreign transaction fees on it, which is tempting to do just for some of these purchases.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
28 Degrees card. I think it's from G Money or something. GM.
Yeah, I had an ANZ one like that for a while too.
Yeah, that was just a little whinge I wanted to have, because just as it came up, because I just thought $13.50 was a bit harsh. You
want to have a whinge? I had a credit card years ago, and some guy over in Austin, Texas, got our details, including the CVV off the back of it somehow, and bought himself a nice car radio. We got the bank to reverse that, but we still paid. They still didn't reverse the foreign transaction fee. So,
all right, the dirty
$9 for that.
Yeah, so
you shouldn't have been flashing your CVC on the internet, should you?
Yeah, so in future I'm going to ask if people accept PayPal. Yes, so that's the way I'm going to be trying to do it. But I rang the bank and said, "How much is this? How does it work?" And blah blah blah. You can't get out of it. It's pretty much across the board. This is the NAB, and pretty much across the board. And I just thought, okay, I'm just going to have to watch what I'm buying from overseas.
Yeah, you should just tell them you can stick your card and you can stick your Australian currency. I'm moving to Bitcoin. It's the way of the future.
That's right. I am. So see you
later. You get it on Android, though. Apparently, the app is hackable and people could steal your Bitcoin. So keep away from that one.
See you later, society. I'm going. All right,
I'm going to trade in chickens.
All
How
right.
many chickens for that website per month?
All right, so if you want to win a $20 iTunes gift voucher, you better hurry up. I'm not sure how many are left. So you want to get in there, write a review up on the Aussie Mac Zone iTunes audio or video podcast on the iTunes there. So make sure you do that if you want to win. We'll give another one away next week. Now, and then also... Oh, that is, yes, thank you. That is, thank you to IT Help for You, who I mentioned before with the movie thing they're trying to get going. So IT Help for You, number 4, letter u.com.au. I'm sure you can work that one out. And also, that's about it, I think. You can catch us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and iTunes as well, and also always at aussiemaczone.com.au. So, guys, on the Twitter, where can they find you, Jace?
You can find me at Jason Worm, so it's Jason with a Y, on Twitter. And just a reminder as well to subscribe to the Aussie Tech Heads YouTube channel so that we can get up to 100 subscribers and look at moving our live streaming over to there.
To YouTube, see what that's all about. Yes, so do that.
Yeah.
YouTube.com/Aussie Tech Heads. Warlock, where can we find you?
On Twitter, WAULOK, and Warlock at AussieMacZone.com.au.
And Gareth, where can we find you?
Gareth, you won't find me at Gareth, that's for sure. At iBlindTech, so at iBlindTech on Twitter, or Garth at AussieMacZone.com.
Good stuff. You can find me at Aussie Tech Heads or Glenn at AussieMacZone.com.au. We're all are at AussieMacZone.com.au. So if you forget the address, just send it to however you think it's spelled at AussieMacZone.com.au. It will get there. Don't you worry. Now, okay, that's about it. That is it. Yes, good stuff. Don't forget Aussie Tech Head Hosting, adhwebhosting.com.au. If you're unhappy with your current provider, what are you doing? Come and talk to me. All right, good stuff. That's about it, I think. Everything good? Everyone finished? I think that's a wrap.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Indeed, we are.
Okay.
Wrap.
Thanks, Jace.
Good show, boys.
Thanks, Warlock, and thanks,
See
Garth.
you next week, guys.
See you all
See ya.
next week.
Bye.
Over and out.
Bye-bye.